one more thing. Okay, so I'm playing a podcaster today, right? And so I have a lot of like medium or close shots, and I made sure, I wear it all the time, but I made sure I wore my Conta Dios today to give a little shout out to the Cape Verdean community. So when Wes submits this to all the film festivals around the world, Sundance, Cannes, things like that, I want somebody to recognize what this is and just be like, wow, Cape Verdean. That's my goal. So, for those of you that don't know, this is something we wear. First, it just symbolizes, like, if I see this across the room, I'm like, oh my God, they're Cape Verdean, which, you never, unless it's my family, I never run into Cape Verdeans. So that's exciting one. 2, is supposed to ward off evil and, like, bring you good luck. So, the older generations told me that back in the day, you weren't even supposed to show it. It was supposed to be hidden and just be fighting evil behind the scenes. But now we wear it because we're proud. So,
pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole.
The crime scene, that is East Palestine, Pennsylvania, reveals more sloppy malice aforethought.
My ID works by taking a camera phone and pointing it at a QR code. It provides valuable medical information such as allergies, breathing difficulties, or other conditions, so you get proper treatment and care.
My goal is to have 100% of our residents and the citizens we serve in the township to have one of these and be working with them to make sure that we can treat them better and provide the best service that we can.
There's a 3-year plan to get My ID going across the village and make it available to all 4,700 residents.
Were the Trump supporters that make up most of the population of East Palestine merely a targeted Agenda 2030 digital ID experiment? And was the density of organic farms, the Amish population, and food processing plants in and around East Palestine just another target as Bill Gates and foreign interests buy up U.S. farmland?
The food supply is obviously crucial. Whoever controls the food and the energy and the money. And now at this point, if you're not prepping, you're somewhat foolish, actually. I hate to use that term, but let's just be realistic. Famines can happen suddenly or they can happen slowly.
It's sloppy, and it's right in front of all of us. John Bound reporting.
Over the past several decades, testosterone levels have steadily been dropping in males all over the modern world. Proper testosterone accounts for a man's bone mass, fat distribution, strength, and most importantly, sperm production and sex drive. Because without these last 2 factors, the species will not survive naturally. Testosterone deficiencies have been recorded in scores of species throughout the entire world. Estrogenic pollutants from farming, women's birth control, menopausal hormone replacement drugs, as well as chemicals such as DDT and PCBs, are all extremely pervasive all over the earth, in the soil, air, and water. These testosterone killers are making their way into the food supply, which is one more reason why it's crucial to eat an organic diet and consume purified water. While the term soy boy has become trendy, the scientific data is clear that soy does not decrease testosterone levels. Soy contains phytoestrogens, but estrogen is what men want to avoid, and beer is the biggest culprit. Hops is one of the most estrogenic plants on earth. Clean organic foods that promote testosterone production include celery, corn, cucumber, kale, spinach, radish, garlic, beef, and pine nuts. And there are several supplements that we can add to our diet as well. Zinc is absolutely needed for testosterone production. Our bodies do not make or store zinc, so we have to get enough every day through diets or supplements. This is why oysters are considered an aphrodisiac. They are a huge source of zinc. Cholesterol is a type of fat produced by the liver and found in different foods. It helps your body make testosterone by first being converted into pregnenolone. which is a precursor to all other.
All please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On my honor, I will do my best in my duty, God my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Scout law. Guided, trusted, loyal, helpful, friendly, courageous, kind, obedient, gentle, thrifty, brave, clean, better.
So much for that.
Thank you, folks. I want to thank Pastor Simmons for inviting me here today, graciously to join you and congratulate you on this momentous occasion. And of course, want to honor Eddie Johnson and all the work he's done. Eddie, why don't you come on up? Eddie and I have been in touch. And I think it's important because, the history of parting ways, the history of these four soldiers, the community built, that's everyone's history. It's our history. And the town of Plymouth recognized that too. Selectman Tony Barboza was here to join us. Just want to commemorate today and just to commemorate the federal government and their recognition of this important historical site. Eddie and I, of course, have done a lot of great work to make sure that we're remembering the importance of this site and what it means to our American history. But I want to just present you with the certificate from the Department of the Interior that designates that this is registered in the National Register of Historic Places. So it's a start of a sign of recognition and hopefully something that we can all build on to keep this community and this important momentous occasion going. So Eddie, thank you very much.
Thank you. I just simply want to thank everybody who participated in this, in particular Reverend Simmons from the Bethel AME Church. I also want to thank Craig Erickson from the Nation and everybody who's here. Lisa Barboza and everyone else. Thank you all for being here.
wise. A few things I want to let you know. It's not your fault you don't know these things. They've gone to great effort and expense and many lives to keep these things from your knowledge. Distractions and entertainment and all that stuff has kept you busy. And just now, they're making it tough for you just to live so that you will not have the time to do the research and homework. So I made, for my family, and I guess a great sacrifice, because I couldn't be taking care of my hand and bump the rest. But I feel I love you all, because I know you didn't have anything to do with this. Dumbing down people and enslaving people, programming people. I know it's hard to believe, so this is why this project is to enlighten me. All right, here's a few things that you should know.
Vandals have broken into the church and tipped over gravestones, broken century-old stained glass windows.
What a shame. What a shame when they do that.
I mean, I grew up across from a graveyard, and sure, we used to play in the graveyard as kids, but we'd never thought of trashing the graveyard. That is just so disrespectful.
You know, just knowing what I know, having the experiences, the paranormal experiences I've had in my life, I wouldn't dare go mess with somebody's grave. I mean, how do you sleep at night doing that? You know, because ghosts are real. Some of them might hold a grudge.
Yeah, what I say.
Karma payback is horrible.
Go ahead.
But I mean, they say ghosts can't hurt you, but when you get touched for the first time, definitely gives you a heart shock. Could have dropped names, but there was another group back in Boston when I lived up there that investigated a house and had the residents ready to move out of the house because they were told that they were experiencing a demonic haunting. And my group at the time went in and
here we are again, 6-7 years go by. Nobody here. We just left downtown. Tens of thousands of people. Indians think that we killed them. We're not killed them.
Unfortunately, I mean, they did end
the
up
blacks, they don't want to know what we're doing in white people's clothes. The fact
See,
is,
I believe that there
are
demonic possessions, maybe demonic. I don't know so much as to call it a haunting. I think it's more severe than that. And all that good stuff. So, you know, and then, of course, if you talk to Peter Kling, we are in the prophecies that's happening.
If we knew the history, the way it's supposed to be told,
a lot to talk about.
then we wouldn't have any problems.
Year for the topic.
Especially African-American males. So I'm telling you, by the way, it's so important that nothing can take its place. It has to go into the school. So we're offering DVDs free to kids in school. And we're hoping that you people out there with the money pay for buying first kids.
And we'll take the call. We've got somebody who's been waiting on the line to come aboard here. So we'll bring Wayne in Rhode Island. You're on Late Night in the Midlands, Wayne.
How you doing, Mike?
All right. How are you?
I heard that you was going to have spooky ghost stories tonight, and I went on the line and I was hearing history a little bit, and I said, gee, you know, maybe I got the wrong thing, and fortunately it was cleared up in the chat room. But I started noticing synchronicities to some video that I had posted online today. You see, I'm working with a cemetery out in Plymouth, Mass, that goes back to founding of the country, and it was hidden in the woods for about 300 years, and there's an ongoing legal thing going on between the town and the people buried there. All right. Anyway, the story's like this. I went out there after we had acquired 24 acres of this land to build a museum to these revolutionary soldiers. And the reason why I went out there was to put a sign, because there'd never been a sign, and they had cleared a little land for us. And so I was going to put a sign out there. And when you go in to the towns, you have to go by their codes. So they tell you to dig so deep, and because it's an archaeological site, it was a lot of trouble to put the sign in. But anyway, I go there, and it's like 100 degrees in the summertime, and I start digging, and I have to go down 4 feet. And as I'm digging, I found something. But at the same time I found this thing, I thought it was, maybe somebody lived here and, it might be an artifact. I don't know what to do. I'll do something with it later. But then when I went to put the second hole in the ground for the post, I was down about 2 feet. And it was so nice to be down in that hole, even though it was hard and it was hot and sweaty and everything. I kind of slipped into dizzy because there was no cold drinks around, because we're near the woods and off a highway. And as I got to the point where I didn't know whether I was going to pass out or not, I felt like somebody grabbed my arm, okay? Now, not scary, but like something was vacuuming my fingers, like a suction on my fingers as the stones and roots and stuff were tangling around. You forget your imagination. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. This is real weird because this happened about 8 years ago, and since then I've been carrying around these spirits, and at different events that's all involved with the Sons of the American Revolution and these forgotten patriots, and all through the south coast of New England, thinking that we're going to build a memorial, and we're actually bumping into some conspiracy that just blows me away. But these, you call them spirits or ghosts, I don't know what you want to call them, but they tell you things, or you dream of things, or you think of things, and then when you go and check it out, you're right online. I don't know if that's a possession or an obsession, but I've been posting videos about it for a while now, but I don't put it in esoteric terms. I put it in a historical term. You know what I mean? So that we can stay on track with the project. But there's so much esoteric stuff. I think this guy here, Mark, I believe the name is, right?
Ronald we have on, and Jimmy.
And Jimmy, I'm sorry. I'm a little confused. Senior citizen.
That's all right.
Anyway,
you're talking my neck of the woods back there in Plymouth.
Oh, great. And you should be down at the Parting Way Cemetery.
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with it.
Okay, well, we're the guys that got hold of the land and building the museum. In fact, on January 16th, we just put a new sign up there. You know anything about that?
No, I'm actually now I'm living down in South Carolina now.
Okay, well, dig this. Now, you're going to really love this because you're familiar with the neck of the woods. There's 4 graves there, but there's 5 stones. And if you dig it, it's like the rabbit hole thing. You keep digging, keep coming up with all these links to history, and you find out, well, first off, Pilgrims didn't even land in Plymouth. They landed in Portsmouth, Rhode Island.
Exactly.
And here's the cemetery hidden in the woods with 4 veterans of the Revolutionary War, but because they were African, not only those 4 were forgotten, but all 5,000 that fought in the war are completely out of the history books. So you start digging, and as you're digging, we came up with 4 file cabinets that the library of Plymouth had down in the basement that the librarian, who was just about to retire, had put away, and she told me they threw away 3/4 of the stuff was thrown away. But it was a history about the founding of this country, even Plymouth Rock, where it came from, all these different stories with the Wampanoag Indians and Columbus, the whole bit. But now, this is the rough part. At the same time this was discovered, people like Jesse Jackson and Spike Lee and all them, they were involved, and they was activists and unknown leaders at the time, but they didn't know about this. They were activism was going on up there to get these soldiers recognized. Well, somewhere along the line, the story got buried, the land overgrew, the archaeologists died, all this kind of stuff. It just disappeared for another 30 years until I came along. And what really is spooky about this, like I said, I don't know if you want to call them spirits or if you want to call them an obsession I have or whatever, but I keep coming in with this coup d'etat that took place in 1700s, between Masons of different rights and the, I might as well say Bavarian, New England Bavarian Illuminati, because that's what I guess the kids call them today. Back then they didn't call them nothing. Well, anyway, I don't want to take up all your time or anything, but if you go out to the Plymouth Cemetery up there, you'll see there's a lot of changes if you ever go that way again. And you should ask yourself, how come none of our leaders in government or none of our veterans organizations, none of our corporate people, nobody in schools or universities teach about this 10% of George Washington's army? Because there's a thing that goes along with it, and that's why I call it like a haunting, because there's two stories, and everybody that tells this story seems to die, disappear, or get locked up in a mental institution or prison. And in fact, being on the board for about 11 years now, the most we ever got so far is this legal suit. And I was able to put the sign up and clear a little bit of land so people can go there. But I keep having these little emails, let's say, people that know the story, people that are like the Sons of the American Revolution. I spoke at the Harvard Club in Cambridge right after Prince Henry. In fact, I was the first African American to speak there since W.E. Du Bois. In fact, we got him reinstated into the Sons of the American Revolution because they didn't have any blacks up until then. This happened in 2006. So as the story is coming out, I noticed that the History Channel started changing their story, about the Founding Fathers. And it was, even the Pilgrim stories, started changing over the years. So in 10 years, I saw what was once completely out of, it didn't exist. In our history books, it didn't exist in our universities, and our children knew nothing about it. I saw that come out of a 10-year span, and it's still with me now. I think what we're talking about here is done two ways. One is natural, and one, supernatural, you might call it, and one is done with technology, like that instrument that you use to measure electrical presence. That's a high-tech thing. Back in the day, witch doctors and African and Mayan and so forth, shamans and stuff, they knew how to use those electrical energies that are natural in the earth line, the grids, And I'm also 100% Cape Verdean. I don't know if you know what Cape Verdean is. It's Cape Verdeans come off the coast of the West Africa. They come from these islands where the slave trade actually took place. But not the slave trade you read about. It's the esoteric story about the Knights Templar and all that stuff. Like I said, you're not going to have much time for all this. I've been doing this for a long time. But the haunting is there. In fact, the haunting is so bad that the nation doesn't have one monument to these soldiers, and the schools have no... we had to go to Washington, D.C., and make them put it in the official records. Because the Department of Interior had to put it in their book now. But now, even though it's in the book, they don't give no information. If you want information, you have to log on to our website, right? And the idea that nobody's going to find this information if the government doesn't promote it, the veterans don't promote it. You know what I'm saying? And I asked the guys... Right, I asked these Masons, because I speak at the colleges and I go to the so-called events and ceremonies and rituals, invited or not invited, I still go, because like I said, I'm an elder at the Cape Verdean Creole, so I know a little bit of spiritualism myself, and I go there to kind of make sure things are done right, and if it's not done right, I try to undo it, And I got 13 children, 7 sons, and many great-grandchildren and grandchildren. So I know that my spirituality is natural, and it doesn't come from devices or channeling or none of that spooky stuff that I've been listening to, not just from your show, but for the last 5 or 6 years on the tube. I'm going to close with this. If anybody tells you that they're your leader, or they're your teacher, or a spiritual leader, or anything like that, you should ask them, especially Americans, you should ask them if they know anything about those 5,000 or the 10% of George Washington's army. And you won't hear a word from them. They can only come up with 2 or 3 names that was promoted, and they were Masons. You know, and they're sworn to keep the secret so that they can live large while, you know, they get rid of the slaves, both white and black. You know, so they're to keep it for the slaves, you know what I mean? The Prince Hall Masons, Freemasons, York, right? All these secret societies, and all roads lead to Rome, you know, but not Africans. That's the thing about the Phoenix land. People don't want to talk about it. You know, it's a taboo subject because, like that checkerboard square in their temples, a lot of it divides us. You know, anything that divides us, you know, they're going to put it out there and promote it. And
that's
people,
right.
Right. You know, poverty is actually pure. You know what I mean? It's nothing to be ashamed of. Not having what other people have to produce these glamorous things is not, it's all an illusion. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. Things can happen. There's still spiritual people out here working. Leaders do not, they're not picked and chosen. Leaders just lead, and they don't say nothing, they just do their thing. And they don't want to be in the spotlight because that's how you get killed. I wouldn't be 65. Because I'm definitely on that list. I was a Black Panther. I was involved in Vietnam. I was a veteran. In fact, I was in Hawk guided missile school when I was 18 years old over in and that's people didn't even know we had guided missiles. I had a top secret clearance. All these things here is because I survived, and I'm giving good advice right here. When you talk about ghosts and Bigfoot and all that stuff there, well, now you really should go from spiritualism and metaphysics to quantum and string theory, because they're the same.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They're the same.
All right, Wayne. Well, listen, I thank you so much for the call. Actually, don't hang up. Hang on there. Maybe if you'd like, we can get some information from you and get you on the program. Sounds like you've got quite a handle on some history and in that cemetery, and I'd like to get you on about that if you're interested. So if you are, hang on the line, and Autumn will get some info from you. And, you know, you've just made it known. Yeah, they do like to divide and conquer. That is how they conquer. And knowledge is power, and you've got quite a bit of that. So maybe we can get you back on the show here and do a full show, and you can make everybody aware of what's not being taught in the schools, because I agree with you. They don't teach the real history in the schools. So very interesting. Ronald and Jimmy, hang on there with me for a second. We're overdue on our shorter break here, so we're going to take that, and then we'll come back and go back to the EVPs. I'm Michael Vera. This is Late Night in the Midlands on Radio N-Surf, and we're talking to the Ghost Hunters in Charleston.
Yeah, Strangeland.
Wow, how did I get here?
Well, that's simple, Mr. Yates.
What do you mean?
You're the creator?
What I saw was amazing after raising up and gazing at the babe that said I'm creating nights and days and paving the way for raging techaholics, making havens next to all this hate and crazy and death. We call it a place of consummation, of perfection, fulfillment. The tech runs the building, respect one's resilience from threats, guns, and illnesses. This place is realness. It feels as if it's lifted amid sick and twisted in real wicked villages. And I'm the main man that made every effort to gain fans. Through all my pain, I obtained grands, millions just because of my brain. Now my lane stands, insane rants, the name brand, call it Strangeland. Getting paid was the game plan, but the lane transformed to untamed fans, enhanced in the Strangeland. Pain and insane land. Strangeland, where everybody know my name, man, cause my blood and veins ran through the mainland. I am in the Strangeland. Pain and insane technicians. Let's this one stress lifting, mesh kids and sets with them tech listening vets. Expression is best written, less hidden. Flesh women, sex driven, that's living. Yes, been impressed by the way the tech is blessing them. It shows cause the land is steady grows, and I'm the man with fetty flows. But understand he said he knows that he ran a deadly road, but he woke up with a family rose in a land of uncanny souls. And they adore him, even if they can't afford him. Be the rich and be the poor, then really get to be before him. To get laced on mistakes and big breaks, quick paced lyrics they pick in this place.
He played me some stuff when in LA off the Carter 4. He has a record on there with this dude named Tech 9. I don't know if you guys heard of him. Right. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Getting paid was the game plan, but the lane transformed to untamed fans, enhanced in the strange land. Pain and insane land. Strange land where everybody know my name, man. Cause my blood and veins ran through the mainland. I am in the strange land. Pain and insane land. Strange land. Am I in the twilight zone? Cause my mic's on, but I never thought the world would buy my songs. Cause in my land I am the highlight inside my dome. But now it's my hype, they try bite cause my life long. In this hip hop, everybody's lip drops. When I spit the gift, it quickly shifted cause I get props. It's terrific, they recognizing me on every level. If you missed it, if you look, you're finding me in a very rebel. This is listed. Tech 9, an insane man. His own lane had the strain and pain, and that became fans. When all the dames glance, he's doing the rain dance. Because the whole world is about to be a strange land.